All right, everyone, welcome back to the LPR Trading Group. It's Dave here again. I've got another video for you today, and this is how to spot big money in the market and how to trade around them. Now, I want to show you this recording from yesterday because I actually made a mistake on this trade, and I want to hone in on that mistake as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing back this recording, and what I want you to do is I want you to watch this 65 level right here, so 41.65, and specifically we're going to watch this sell right here. So what I'll do to make it easier is I'll actually just put a square around the sell. It might move around, but you're going to be paying attention to the 41.65 just so we know where it is here, okay? So I'm going to play this video and I'm going to fast forward through the video and we'll backtrack a little bit to talk about it. But what happened was there was an iceberg order sitting here at 65 with a large position that this person was wanting to get filled. Let's start the video up and we'll see what happens when price comes into 65. So this is the price we're looking at right here, 65. And we're watching this sell right here. You can see as price is coming into this 65. You see this big 161 here? This is someone on the offer, limiting in on the offer, reloading the offer, absorbing all of these market buys at 65, okay? Now, if we want to see a total of what was traded at 65, it is this number right here, okay? 1741. So let's remember that, 1741. Previous to this, it was sub 1600, okay? So you have 161 contracts hitting market at the offer, getting absorbed by someone that is putting limit orders at the offer to get a fill on a position here. Let's continue playing this. We pull off, we push back in, 10s, 3s, 2s, 19s. So not a lot of pressure into that 165 at this moment. I'll let this play out for the next few minutes. So you have 1800 right here in this column, getting absorbed at 65, 140, 200, 280. We still have not ticked above 65, okay? 300, 500, 550, 2,700 contracts pushed into 65 here. I took a little short to see if we get a scalp here, hiding behind 65. This wasn't the mistake I was talking about, but we'll chat about it when we get there. Let's watch this price action play out. So far, completely rejecting this 65 level. 2,700 contracts here hitting into 65. Not able to push through. Let's continue watching price as it irons out here. Couple more contracts in, not a lot of pressure. Buyers are realizing that they're struggling pushing through here, so no one wants to pull the trigger at this price because they know there's being a reload at this 65 area. 2,800 contracts. There's another 300 that come in here. Look at these reloads. 400, 500, 700 contracts. 3,500 contracts done now. 165 thrown at him. He absorbs all of them. 3,700 contracts hit this price so far. You notice how it has not ticked above this price. This is someone large with extremely deep pockets. Look at a whole price down in this area. Now, I don't want to talk through this whole thing because I want you guys to really see how this is playing out. So I think we come back into this one more time possibly. We printed 200s there, 89. So we got 3,800 contracts. So we get stuffed off here, and the next time we come to retest it is at 1041. So here we're at 1040. We'll actually watch this play out and push back into the 65, see what happens. We can see we have 3,800 contracts here that he's absorbed at 41.65. Ignore all this, guys. I'm trading on my laptop. Putting some stuff out to the chat room here. So we come back here. We've got 4,800 contracts he's absorbed. 4,800. You see how we cannot push through this price? I have X's here marked on my Jigsaw DOM at this price level to know, okay, we have a large participant here. Absorbs 4,900 contracts at this point. He's not going anywhere. And what red flags this whole thing for me is there's a lot of breakout traders saying, okay, when this guy breaks, price is going to fly. No. Why no in this situation? Most situations, yes. Why no in this situation? Well, look at price half an hour ago. Price half an hour ago was trading at the 68s. So if this was a passive market participant that was waiting around for his price to get filled for days, weeks, or months, he would have been participating here. This is not the case. If he's participating at 65, he had an opportunity here. He did not. This is a very present, active market participant that has come in to the market sometime after this time. And he said, after this time, I'm going to participate at 65. So with all these market buyers pushing their orders into this guy at 65, once price does finally break, and I'll show you, this is where I made the mistake. Once price finally breaks, we get a push up, we get a pull back, we get a little push up, and we completely tank for the rest of the day. Okay, this is not a breakout buy. I was telling the chat room, whenever we break 65, look for price to stall up here and short it. Okay, risking high of day. Wait for price to stall, short it with this big money, and risk high of day. Okay, so we push back in here. Let's play this out. We're pushing back in here. We got another 100. So our 5,000 contracts he's absorbed here. And this is where we start pulling away from price. We end up coming back into price around 1049. Let's pull it up to 1049. Backtrack just a bit. Okay, here we go. So we've still got 5,000 contracts here at the 65. Let's see what happens when price starts ticking on the 65 again. Get 66, 130, 150, 180, 5,300 contracts now. There we go. Here's another big push on the tape here. 230 contracts, 5,600 total. This guy's obviously not going anywhere. He's got thousands and thousands of contracts loaded in at the offer on the selling these contracts. Look at this absorption here. 333, 6,000 contracts, 500, 600. You see all that pressure from buyers? He hasn't moved. He has not let price go one tick above him. So like I said, the play is once we do get one tick above him, or once we do push through him, when price stalls, we get short risk high of day. Now the mistake that I made was my entry wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, so I bailed early on the trade. Okay? We'll see it play out here. I'll let you guys see it play out. It's coming here in the next minute or two. 6,400 contracts. It's one big pocket fighting the whole market here. Get a little pullback here. So this candle right here, this 1050 candle is the candle that's going to break him. This is the candle that's going to break through here. We'll watch it happen. You see how these stacks here are all relatively even in values? 3,300, 3,000, 4,000, 4,400, 1,000, 6,400. Very blatant, obvious absorption. Here we go. Buyers are going for a push again. Look at this tape, flooding blue. 300, 400, 6,800 contracts, still flooding blue. There he finally goes. Okay, this is our key now. This is our key. When is price going to start stalling? I want my entry up around the 67. I hit it at 65.75. This is a little bit of a mistake on my end. It's a mistake in two ways. Mistake number one, we hit the 65.75, fine. Entry's not as good as we want. We still have to stop out above high of day, which is right here. We just have to do this. Now, I didn't like my entry. I wanted to get closer to that 67 and then risk high of day. So I ended up stopping out one tick from the highs. Let's watch this play out here. Price actually moves all the way up to this 67.25 and I stop out at 67. I mean, that's besides the point. It's a mistake. Realized it was a mistake. It is what it is. I could have re-hit it, but I didn't. I mean, that's just how it goes. But here's the trade. This is the trade that was planned out in the chat room. Wait for this big money to break. And once he breaks, if price can't break highs and we start stalling, we gotta get short, okay? We gotta get short. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a chart here of that price action, okay? So right here, this is our 65 level. This is the 41.65. Test, 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 okay? This is where he started accumulating a position for a downside move. He started building his position for a downside move. This high rate here was 67.25, and I stopped out at 67. It is what it is, but this is exactly what we were looking for. A push through to the upside, can't break high of day. We start to get weak and stall. We got to get short somewhere in this area. And if we do get short, our stop goes over the highs. And let's just see what happens here. And this is the trade, okay? So if we're in this trade for somewhere between 65 and high of day, which is 68, we have at worst a 3-point stop. We have a 3-point stop. And if we're just targeting low of day at 41.40, we're looking at a 25 to a 30-point reward on a 3-point stop. Now, there are traders in the room, a lot of traders who got this trade and they got secondary entries that we take in the room, and they did very, very, very well on this trade. This is a trade where we closed almost into low of day that you could have held a small position overnight. And look at this trade, 100-point move to the downside. This is not some one-off anomaly trade either that only happens for us once a year, once every 6 months. Like, I see these rooms where it's like, just wait for 6 months and wait for the best setup. And when you get it, load the boat. That's not how we trade. These types of trades show up every day. We might not get this size of absorption or this size of an iceberg, but the trades that we take, just like this one, show up every single day, multiple times a day. So with that, I just wanted to show you guys that action on a jigsaw DOM, how the interaction between market orders, hitting the offer, being absorbed by a large iceberg, someone with large pockets, an institution, a single player, who knows, loading into this position, and why it was not a long and it was always a short. Quick recap, it's always a short here because if this participant at 65 was passively sitting in the market, he would have triggered his orders back here. He didn't, so he's actively watching the market here. Someone who's absorbing 7,000 contracts knows a lot more about what's going on in the market likely than what we do. What do we want to do? We want to get on his side. Why do we want to get on his side? Because we want to be short here to pick this move up. Okay? Very simple, very clear cut. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll say it on this video again. If you guys want a one-on-one discussion or a one-on-one chat with me or anyone else in our room, leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to get back to them. I've had a few discussions with some people already, and we'll get you on the right track. I mean, I'm not saying you have to sign up for the room, you have to be a part of our trading group. If you just want to talk trading, I'm open. I'm so down. We'll leave it at that, and we'll see you guys in the charts.